Hey, my name is Brian Duffy, and I'm the chef owner of the Flying Fish Craft House in Philadelphia, and I'm here to make a Duffified burger for you. It's a whole bunch of my favorite things, all combined into one big, fat, juicy burger. So we're gonna take a beautiful 8-ounce patty of ground beef. We're gonna baste that in a pan with some rosemary and some thyme. On the underside of that, we're gonna put a rosemary aioli, top it off with some goat cheese, some crispy shiitake mushrooms, some prosciutto bacon, and of course, a fried egg. All served on a beautiful piece of brioche bread. Burgers are the classic American food, and the coolest part about it is you can dumb it down as simple as a burger that's just grilled with some cheese on some bread, or you can dress it up a little bit. And one of the things that I like to do when I dress it up is I like to salt and herb roast some of my tomatoes ahead of time. I've got some tomatoes right here. These are just a really simple vine ripe, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut these down into basically quarters. So just like that. These are gonna go right into a bowl. Take some really nice fresh ground salt, some black pepper, a little bit of an herbe de Provence. This is a dried herbe de Provence. I'm gonna pop right into a little baking tray. I want them to get a little bit of a caramelization on the side once it goes into the oven. Okay, so we're gonna pop these into a 400-degree oven. They're gonna take about 10 minutes. Next, shiitake mushrooms. These are beautiful. I cut off my stems. I'm gonna take a little bit of olive oil. This is an extra virgin olive oil. Give that a quick toss. Salt, black pepper. I'm gonna pop them right over to here. By placing them down this way, when they cook, the liquid is actually gonna cook out onto the tray and kind of dissipate and give me a really nice kind of soft, crispy shiitake. These are gonna go into 400 degrees as well. Just like that. Kind of the hardest part of the whole thing is making prosciutto bacon. The prosciutto bacon is just a really nice thin cut of prosciutto. The way that the prosciutto has that really salty kind of outer exterior, it just makes for a beautiful kind of crispy texture, but it also adds a nice little bit of saltiness into it when it cooks out. So I can bite into that and it's like candy, just a salty candy. This is gonna go in for about 8 to 10 minutes at 400 degrees. All right, so right now I'm gonna make a rosemary aioli. I'm gonna take 2 cloves of garlic. They're already cleaned and ready to rock and roll. And the first thing I'm gonna do is give it just a little bit of a thin cut, a little bit of salt. And I'm just gonna add it right on top of it. The salt's gonna act as an abrasive. And I'm gonna take my knife, and then what I can do is I almost make a paste out of it. But you can see it's already getting nice and wet. Salt removes moisture, okay? And then by pressing on top of it, I'm releasing all of that natural oil and all that natural flavor. Beautiful garlic, just like that. Pop it right into my bowl. Fresh rosemary, I'm gonna pop it in. I wanna have a good amount, about a tablespoon. I'm just gonna mix this together. I wanna let that sit. By letting it sit, that natural oil from the rosemary and that garlic's gonna start to permeate its whole way through here. All right, let's check these out. So our tomatoes look beautiful. It's getting a little bit caramelized. They're starting to stick to the bottom of the pan, which is exactly what I want. Our shiitakes, see how I've got that real nice caramelization? That's called Maillard. That's that natural caramelization process. Now I can flip them over, pop these right back up. Now it's time to start making our burgers. This is a really nice chuck and short rib mix. I wanna make sure that it kind of gets into my hands. All right, I want the fat to start to melt down just a little bit, and the heat of my hands is gonna really start to reduce that fat down. A brilliant burger is about having great meat. The key is really about having a burger that is not freezing cold when it goes on. I'm gonna do the burgers in 2 different areas. One, I'm gonna grill it, because again, I love that good grilling flavor. And then I'm gonna finish it off in the cast iron pan and we're gonna baste it in there. But first things first, I'm seasoning my grill so it becomes non-stick. And that's as simple as grabbing a paper towel, making a nice little fold out of it, just like this, and then just dipping it into some olive oil. I can bring it right back over here to my grill, and I rub it down. You get a little bit of that carbon flavor in there. When you go to bite into that, you're gonna taste everything all at the same time. Remember, always season. Seasoning is, it would be like driving a car and running out of gas if you don't have seasoning on it, okay? So, fresh grind of salt. I like a heavier grind of pepper. This burger itself has a great fat in it, so it's all gonna come together really well. Now, I'm gonna pop them right onto my grill. I'm not cooking it fully on the grill. All I'm doing is just starting to get that little bit of flavor that comes in. I want the fat to start dripping down into my coals, because that in turn is gonna start to create the smoke and add a little bit more flavor to it. People, don't touch your burgers. The more you move it around, the more you lift it up and move it, the less opportunity you have to get that flavor in there. By just letting it sit, let that natural heat hit it, that really high. Right now, that crusting has started to happen on the outside, that beautiful brown that's on there. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick it up and we're gonna flip it over. Okay, you see that? See that beautiful mark on the outside? That's exactly what we're looking for. While that's getting ready to go, while they're sitting there, I'm gonna let them sit for about another 2 minutes on each side. I'm telling you, it's the most flavorful burger you're ever gonna have. While our burgers are cooking, because I like to get my bread ready, this is brioche. So this is a beautiful bread. It's got a lot of great pockets of air. So when you bite into this, what happens is all that juice is gonna get into those pockets. And you're gonna have a beautiful bite of a burger every single time you get into it. A little bit of butter, just right on the inside of this. And all I'm gonna do is bring it right over here. And I just wanna let it sit on there for a second. I'm a huge fan of the prosciutto. You can see it just like that. That fat's rendering out, getting a little crispy, all that salt starting to concentrate a little bit, and then we just let this sit. But while that's happening, what I wanna do is I wanna start getting our burger set up. So I've got my burger bun right there. I'm gonna take a little bit of this rosemary aioli that we made earlier. Then, what I'm gonna do is take some green leaf lettuce. I do a really fine shred or a julienne. I'm gonna pop that right on the bottom, and I'm gonna take our onion. I wanna do a very fine shave, thin julienne onions. And I'm just gonna kind of dot these. I have these tomatoes that we did a little bit earlier. If you can hear that crunchiness, that's one of the things that I want. They're gonna break down and almost make like a sauce. Pop these right into here. I'm gonna pull my burgers off and we're gonna start to baste these burgers. Extra virgin olive oil, garlic's gonna go into that pan. And I'm gonna take my burger and I'm gonna pop it right in here. Rosemary, get your butter in there. The oil, that's my basting liquid. That garlic, that rosemary that's really starting to cook out. And what it's doing is creating a beautiful crisp on the outside of my burger. My goat cheese, so I'm just gonna pop it right on top. This burger's all good. I'm gonna bring it over and I'm gonna set it right on top of our tomatoes. What's a burger without an egg? Grab my egg and just a little bit of herbe de Provence right on top of my egg. And let that fried egg part happen. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this beautiful egg and we're gonna pop him right on top of that burger. We've got these awesome shiitakes. I like to pop them right around the outside of here. The preparation creates the experience. This is definitely an awesome burger.